dum da dum da dum da dum da da dum da dum da dum da dum da da.
Hello and welcome to the AT&T Super League of Sweetness Week 3 video recap, guys. Of course, I'm your commissioner and defending champion, Super Keith. Got a lot of stuff to go over this week, including the games that happened, player stats, upcoming matchup, and some interesting facts. As you can see from the background, I don't have a normal football background. I got a salty meme. That's because 5 of our 6 games had left a win on the bench. That's a lot of games to have salty losses on that there. So let's go ahead and get into it. We'll start with my team as always, McGiblet's Funhouse. This week I took on Liz and Captain Rocks. At kickoff I was the underdog by 3 points, but I ended up getting the win by 140 to 123 for 17.71 points. Now, if you noticed, I gave an exact approximation of those points, and you'll see why shortly. I did have 6 of my 10 players miss projections, but I did have wide receiver Keenan Allen put up almost 33 points to double his projection, and I had quarterback Carson Wentz put up 26 points, just beating his projection by 1. I didn't have any more moves to get me any more points, so that got me an award, folks. The perfect lineup award. Pat on my back. There we go. I'll take it. I had no other moves, like I said, to get me more points. Now, Liz's team didn't do bad at all. You know, she had half her players hit projection as far as coaching. She did better than me. Christian McCaffrey put up almost 27 points, beating projection by 9. Tight end Evan Ingram, 19 points, doubling his projection. Now, Liz did have a quarterback, wide receiver, and tight end combination on the bench, which left her with 17.78 points. Now, if you're keeping track, that is indeed a salty loss. And the margin of she would have won by would have only been 0.07 points. So less than a tenth of a point. But, you know, those 3 people would have got her to win. So that is right there, the salty loss. It sucks when you leave a win on the bench, but she is not alone in that aspect this week. So, Liz, left win on the bench. You salty, you should be. Going into our next game, we had Eric's 100 yards and running and Adrian's Blue Nightmare. Eric was projected to get this win by 1 point. It was one of our real close ones. Actually, a couple of games that were really projected to be close. But he ended up getting the win, 144 to 135 for a 9-point win difference. Eric had 6 of his 10 players hit projection, including running back Philip Lindsay, 25 points, doubling his projection. Wide receiver Amari Cooper, 21 points, beating his projection by 8. He only had 8 more points that was left on the bench from a quarterback, but that score of 144 points gets Eric an award. Right there. The high score of the week award. No one else scored more than him. So even wins and losses, those points matter, especially come at the end towards playoff time. So you want to get to all those points you can on that there. So good job for Eric on that. Going into Adrian's team, he had half his team hit projection. Wide receiver Mike Evans, which I think he scored the most points of anyone this week, or second highest, 39 points, tripling his projection. He definitely led all wide receivers. Running back Alvin Kamara, 28 points, almost doubling his projection. 17 points left on the bench between a running back and a kicker. And folks, if you were watching and paying attention, Eric won by 9 points, and the 17 on the bench from Adrian leads to a salty loss. Blue Nightmare left the win on the bench. Again, it's the second game. Saltiness, it sucks leaving wins on the bench, especially this early in the season. In your week 3, you want to get those wins and secure your spots for the playoffs on there. Going in the next game, was Michael's dub taking on Chuck's team. At kickoff, Chuck's team was projected to get the win, by 16 points. But it was an upset. Dub got the win, 133 to 127 for a 6-point win. Dub had 7 of the 10 players hit projection. Quarterback Patrick Mahomes, you're going to see his name. He's going to lead every week pretty much, it seems like. 39 points almost. Beat his projection by 6. Wide receiver Cooper Kupp, 23 points. Beating his projection by doubling his projection, actually. There was almost 26 points left on the bench between a running back and a wide receiver, which would have led to a bigger margin. Would have had him as the highest score of the week, I believe, but take the win anyways. Now, Chuck's team had the flip side. 7 of his 10 players missed projection. Quarterback Russell Wilson, almost 49 points. I think he was the highest point getter this week, actually. Beat his projection by 23 points. Running back Delvin Cook, solid running back, in the top of the season, 21 points. Beating projection by 5. There was a tight end wide receiver combination on the bench, which had an additional 21 points. And if, again, you're watching, that 21 is higher than the 6 they lost by. So, nope, not that one. Right there, Chuck's team left the win on the bench. As I said, there's 5 of the 6 games played had salty losses. So, expect to see that a few more times. It sucks. But you're not alone. That bench is full of losers. Losers. All right, going on to the next game, Space Monkeys. I think it's Jaquan's team taking on Rob's team, Rob's Kardashians. Another projected close one. Rob was projected to get the win by 1, and it didn't end up being that way. Another upset, 103 to 94. Space Monkeys with the win with a 8.93 win difference. He got the win despite 8 of his 10 players missing projection. But wide receiver Adam Thielen putting up almost 18 points, beating projection by 6. Nelson Aguilar was just eating up, receptions and yards on the lines, 15 points, beating projection by 7. There was quite a lot of points on the bench between a quarterback, running back, and a wide receiver. 34 points left on the bench. Now, Rob's team also had 8 of his 10 players miss projections, so both teams were players and coaches are like that. Wide receiver McLaurin put up 13 points, beating his projection by almost 6. And the kicker Harrison Butker, 10 points. There was a tight end wide receiver combination on the bench that would have net an additional 9.1 points. And if you were listening, the 9.1 points is more than 8.93 points. So that gets a salty loss. The difference only 0.17 points. If they had that would have been a very slim margin of win had they had a different tight end wide receiver combination, but it's salty nonetheless. So, join the group of losers. The next game was Jody's team, Mama and her boy, taking on Kim Possible. At kickoff, Kim Possible is projected to get the win by 5, and it didn't. It was an upset. Mama and the boys team won. It wasn't towards the end of the game, end of the week, the late Sunday night games and the Monday. They got the win, 106 to 97 for a 9-point win difference. She got the win despite 7 of 10 players missing projection, but wide receiver Tyler Lockett, he was catching everything. 23 points, doubling his projection. Running back Frank Gorge, which she just got from a trade, putting up almost 15 points, beating his projection by almost 5. Nearly 27 points left on the bench between her quarterback and wide receiver on there. But she got the win regardless. Now, Kim's team also had 7 of 10 players miss projection. The last 2 games, Space Monkeys and Rob Kardashian both had 8 of 10. This matchup both had 7 of 10 miss, so matching in both of those. But wide receiver Hardman, 17 points, doubling projection. Running back Marlon Mack, almost 15 points, beating his projection by almost 3. There was a bench quarterback that would have net 14 points, which is more than the 9 they won by. So, Kim Possible, salty loss. Another one left to win on the bench. The good news is that's the end of the salty losses. So, 5 straight games of all salty losses. At least there's no more of those coming up. The last game was Big Sheldon's team taking on Mary's team. Big Shell's team taking on Mary's team. At kickoff, Sheldon's team was expected to get the win by 11, and it was a bit more than that. 118 to 88 for a 30-point win difference. And, folks, that gets the last award there. the biggest blowout. 30-point win difference there. Sheldon's team had half the team hit projection. Quarterback Matt Ryan, almost 33 points, beating projection by 6. And again, who's he throwing to? Wide receiver Julio Jones. I believe that was Sheldon's top 2 people last week, too, beating projection by 6. Only 7 points left on the bench from a running back that would have done better. Now, Mary's team only had 3 people hit projection. Running back Mark Ingram doing a great job, 32 points, doubling his projection. Wide receiver Moore, 13 points, beating his projection by 4. Only 6.5 points left on the bench from a wide receiver, not enough to overcome that 30, so no salty loss for Mary there. She's the only loser who wasn't salty this week. Well, I mean, maybe she still was, just because she's mad about losing, but whatever. All right, so that's it for as far as the recap on it. Coming up this week, guys, it's our first bye week. So the 49ers and the Jets are on bye. So that means no George Kittle, no Le'Veon Bell, which he hasn't been tearing it up too much anyway. Neither is Kittle. But, there's trying to think if there's any other big players, the main ones on those teams. But that's our first set of buys. So be sure to check your lineups, work the waiver wire, do some more trades. The Thursday night game, which is tomorrow, which is the Eagles and Green Bay. It's going to be a great matchup. And then Monday's Pittsburgh and Cincinnati. Pittsburgh is, I believe, winless. So they need to get some wins. Cincinnati might look suspect. We'll see how they go, though. Now, as far as the upcoming matchups, we have my team at 2-1 taking on the undefeated Dub. The 1-2 100 yards and running taking on the 1-2 Captain Rocks. The 1-2 Blue Nightmare taking on the undefeated Big Shells team. Also at 3-0. The 3-0 Space Monkeys taking on the 2-1 Chucks team. The 1-2 Kim Possible taking on the winless Rob's Kardashians. Also the winless Mary's team taking on the 1-2 Mama and her boy. So again, those are the matchups, guys. Again, look at those reports. Check who's questionable, who's out. A lot of names on there out. A lot of injuries early. Big impact players. People put on injured reserve. Work your team, see what you can do. And again, don't be afraid to throw a trade out there. I want to see some more trades. Good luck, guys. I'll catch you later.